Are you having trouble with Springtrap appearing right next to your generator and giving him a free hit? This can be really annoying, especially with the current bug where he becomes invisible once he exits the doors. But did you know that you can actually see when Springtrap is coming before he even exits the door? If your door is right next to your generator, check out the monitor that appears on it. By default, this monitor will show you the door number that it's linked in, and that's it. But if it starts flashing like here, that means Springtrap is currently approaching and will exit that door soon. Since Springtrap cannot cancel a teleport, this allows you to get a lot of distance before he catches up to you, especially considering how he is a slow killer by default. And this is not the only information that the game does not give you regarding the doors. As you probably know, most survivors are not interacting with the doors because of the fear of getting jump scared by Springtrap. However, the jump scare mechanic works in a very different way than you expected. The only way to grab a survivor inside the doors is to either select the entrance or the destination that the survivor chose, instead of both of you using it at the same time. By this, I mean that if you are on door 3 and you choose door 4 to teleport to, and the survivor is on door 7 and chooses door 5, you won't jump scare him. However, if you are on door 3 and instead you choose either door 7 or door 5, then you will grab them. Additionally, if the survivor chooses to travel on a door you are currently in, you will also automatically grab them. Now, this might seem hard to do, and it is, because the chances of you and a survivor using the same door at the same time are extremely slim, almost like those random dredge locker teleports. But there is a trick to this. Anytime you are inside the doors as Springtrap, you can actually see the doors where the survivors are going towards be revealed in yellow with a beep sound. This means if you see a door suddenly turn yellow, that means you can grab a survivor instantly the moment you teleport to any of the two, and both the beep sound as well as the flashing panel can be seen by Springtrap whenever survivors are using it to travel to a door. Now let's talk about the cameras, because there are a lot of misconceptions about them too. And as a survivor, you should start using them. Most of us expected the cameras to work in a direct line of sight way, as that is what would make sense logically. But the truth is that the cameras can't reveal Springtrap through walls. This means that as long as you know the direction of the killer and he is around the camera, even if the camera is inside the structure or there are two walls covering him, you can still reveal him. Your camera will have a static play once you look at him, and a static noise will also begin while you are revealing Springtrap. Now, after fully revealing him, everyone in the map will be able to see Springtrap for 10 seconds. But what most players don't know is that you can actually still keep the camera on him and even change cameras to keep tracking Springtrap's aura until your battery dies out or until you leave the camps. In solo queue, this is not as useful, as you are better off doing a generator and revealing the killer whenever you can. But in a squad, you can be the scout for a friend that is being chased, and they will have literal wall hacks during a chase, allowing your other two friends to repair generators efficiently, and once the battery dies out, you can just repair generators yourself. And this is why I am a firm believer that doors spawning next to generators is actually better for survivors than it is for killers, because if a door spawns nearby, that means that you can apply tip number 1 and start running once you see the panel glitching out, as well as use the cameras periodically in order to detect Springtrap and help your teammates out. Not only that, now that you know how precise the timing has to be to catch a survivor inside the office, you can even use the doors in order to teleport to generators and start repairing them instantly. After finishing repairing a generator, just come to the door nearby and detect where Springtrap is to make sure he is not near you and not near the door you want to teleport. After that, just use the door in order to instantly appear to the next generator to repair. Don't know where generators are? Just use the doors, since they spawn near them. This also completely cuts the rotation aspect of the game, making the macro aspect of the game much harder for Springtrap, especially maps with choke points, like Sanctum of Wrath, Azarov's Resting Place, or RPD. Now, something really important that you must know is that the audio you hear while inside the cameras is the audio near you and not from the camera position. So if you are using the cameras and you hear metallic footsteps or the tear radius increasing, that's Springtrap coming to say hi. So how can Springtrap counter all of this? Well, the first way that you can counter this mechanic is to throw an axe to a door that is currently being used. If you start hearing a static sound and see the camera moving, it means a survivor is looking at you in this moment. So all you have to do is pull up the fire axe and chuck it to the door. When you do so, your axe will get stuck in the door, and the survivors will not be able to use that specific door until you recall that axe. You heard me right. As long as your axe is stuck in the door, no matter if the pulsating aura is gone or not, that door will not work. As of now, I think this mechanic is not as useful, since survivors are scared of using the doors and cameras due to the game-breaking bug that happened on release, but maybe in the future, once the skill level increases, if you want to cut survivors' rotations with specific doors, you can do so by leaving the axe on it. This actually makes it so that the cameras in indoor maps are actually stronger than the cameras on open maps, since you can reveal Springtrap behind cover, not allowing him to break your camera at all. This is why I think when survivors start using them, he is going to fall off hard. But worry not, Springtrap mains, because not everything is lost, as there is one interaction that I am sure not many of you know. For some reason, blindness seems to affect your camera's global aura reveal, preventing survivors from seeing you even if a camera is tracking you currently. This makes perks like Mindbreaker into a top tier pick for him, not only because it works very well with his power, allowing you to teleport to survivors on top of gens, but also because any survivor currently repairing generators will not benefit from the aura reveal of the cameras. I am unsure if this is a bug or not, because usually killer power auras are not blocked by Mindbreaker, like is the case with Vecna spells. So just in case, if this is fixed, check out my pinned comment, and while you are under there to check, make sure to like this video if you are finding it useful and want to see more of this. Thank you in advance. Something that most of you will find annoying for sure is when a Springtrap decides to enter a door only to fake it. This is especially strong because when you are inside a door, you can perfectly hear everything that happens outside while being completely undetectable. Sometimes, you might want to kick a generator and then enter a door only to hear when a survivor comes back. Leave it and you get a nice free hit, like in this example. Most survivors will find it problematic when Springtrap does this while camping a hook. Now before you ask, if you enter a door when a survivor is hooked nearby, it will count as part of the face camping mechanic. So if a Springtrap decides to enter a door and you are on the hook still getting the face camp meter, that means he has not left yet. But there is another way of knowing if a Springtrap is camping a door or not. If you see a Springtrap entering a door, all you have to do is make sure that you don't run nearby in order to make it harder for Springtrap to hear you. And then, check out the monitor in the door, because as long as Springtrap is inside, it will glitch just as if he was teleporting to that door. If you see that after some seconds, the door monitor does not glitch, that means he is not there faking it. And considering how Springtrap being inside the door means that he is not pressuring anyone, that makes it so that survivors knowing this trick will be safe from any surprise attacks. A mistake I have seen a lot of Springtraps do is constantly recall their axe while in a chase. And what you should do is instead only recall the axe when you are going to try hit a shot. The reason why this is important is because Springtrap with the axe moves at 4.4 meters per second, like Huntress and Death Slinger. But when the axe is on a survivor or stuck somewhere, he moves at 4.6 meters per second, like a normal killer. So, if you hit a survivor with the axe and they get a lot of distance, instead of instantly recalling the axe, just catch up to them normally and only when you are close, recall your axe or let them remove the axe themselves. Remember that the maximum distance that an axe can hit a survivor is 16 meters with a perfect shot, which is 2 meters shorter than Death Slinger. For that reason, if you miss and the survivors use the cooldown in order to gain distance over you, it's better for you to catch up to them first with your increased speed and only then recall. But another reason why you should not always recall the axe is because anytime a survivor is not removing it from themselves, you get to see the aura of the axe through walls. Some survivors will keep the axe on them in order to force you to recall it, and to play you as an M1 killer, which they are more used to. However, because the aura of the axe is revealed, you can sometimes catch the survivors off guard by doing crazy mind games with this information. Sometimes, you can even stand still somewhere and see the aura of the axe and where it goes. This part of the power is incredibly useful on indoor maps as well as loops where the walls are tall and hitting an axe shot is harder due to the collision. So remember these two tips for next time and you might get some results with Springtrap. In short, if you miss your axe and the survivors are getting distance, only recall it when you are going to immediately use it to get a hit or zone them. If you hit a survivor and they get distance, the same is applied, but if they stay on the loop and getting a hit is hard, use the Wallhacks that the axe gives you. Also, while on the topic of the axe, as a survivor, if they keep it and Springtrap leaves, you can actually have a teammate remove it. I am unsure on how useful this mechanic is as of now, but it's something that you can do and it is faster than removing it yourself. And the final tip for this video is to remember to use your axe to its full potential. Whenever you miss with it, the axe will radiate an aura for 15 seconds that will reveal any survivor nearby with killer instinct. This is crucial because sometimes, if you miss, you can see this aura in order to know what side a survivor went to or if they are check spotting you. However, another very important use is to prevent head-on saves or for finding survivors hiding in lockers. The moment you throw your axe to a locker, if a survivor is inside, you will detect them, completely ruining the surprise. So instead of checking them manually, you can check lockers from a distance to be safe from head-on plays. You can even use your axe on ceilings in order to know if a survivor is on the floor above. And the final thing that you can do with the axe is put it in a choke point in order to know if a survivor went there or not. As long as you keep reusing the axe in one spot, you will know if a survivor passed there or not. An example is putting the axe in one of the exit doors in order to make sure that for 15 seconds that survivor cannot use it without alerting you from their location. Let me know if you found these tips useful, and if you have any more, share them in the comments for everyone to see. Thank you for watching and have fun in Dead by Daylight.